People, we don't have any time for highs and hellos because today is going to be a super duper important one-shot session of the chapter Arithmetic Progression. The chapter where a lot of students get stuck in questions. Even though this chapter has pretty simple concepts of nth term and sum of nth terms, still the variety of problems that are there, oh my god. And I get so many doubts from students regarding this chapter. So guys, make sure that you concentrate in today's session and make sure you don't scribble notes because you will be provided with notes. You will be provided with practice questions also. All you need to do is go in the link in the description box below, which will take you to the PW's app, and there you have to enroll in PW's free batch and you'll get everything. And I hope guys you know what PW is. PW is where affordability meets great lectures, great teachers, best kind of results, and yes, every funda here is made simple. So yes, with that guys, my name is Ankita Singh and let's get started with the one-shot session of the chapter Arithmetic Progression. So Arithmetic Progression is the last chapter of the topic algebra that we are going to cover. But it is a super duper important chapter guys, because you can for sure expect either a case-based study question from here or a 5-marker question from here. Okay, and this chapter here has only 2 main concepts. So that's the good thing about this chapter. You have to mug up only 2 very small formulas, right? What are those formulas? Nth term of an AP and sum of nth term of an AP. That's it. And you have different varieties of problems that come from just these 2 concepts, right? And we are going to discuss all the different varieties of problems that have been asked in board exams in today's session. So please make sure that you concentrate and you practice alongside me. Okay, so yes, with that guys, let's start by understanding what arithmetic progression is. But before even that, let's understand what a sequence is, what a progression is, and then we'll come to AP, right? So a lot of people do get confused, like what is the basic difference between a sequence and a series and an AP? So we'll see just that. So dekho bacha, what is a sequence? Sequence is nothing but just a list of either numbers or symbols or letters that follow a logical pattern. Okay, now what do you mean by logical? Okay, logical means that everyone can agree that yes, this is the pattern that is being followed. Okay, okay, so let's just see some examples here. Let's suppose I'm writing 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13 and so on and so forth. So here this is a list of numbers and this list of numbers is following a pattern, right? What pattern is that guys? The pattern is that these list here comprises of all the prime numbers starting from 2, right? So yes, this here is what? It's a sequence, right? Similarly, let me write another one. Let's suppose I am writing this 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and so on and so forth. Again guys, can you see the pattern here? What is the logical pattern? If you add 2 to the previous number, you're getting the next number. Right or not? Or you could say that this here is a collection of even numbers. So this here again is what? It's a sequence. Got it? Understood? If I write something like this 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 1 9 2 3 0 5 6 and so on. Now here guys, is any logical pattern being followed? No, right? I have just written random numbers here, right? So this here is what? It's not a sequence. I've just written a random list of numbers. Got it? Understood? Chalo. Now, what do you mean by series? Because a lot of people interchangeably use the word sequence and series, but these are 2 different words, guys. Sequence is a collection of numbers following a logical pattern, right? But series is what? Series is basically all these terms of sequence added up. So that means if I write something like this, you know, 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 11 plus 13 plus dash 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 and so on. Now here you are doing what? You are adding all the terms of a sequence, right? So this here is what? It's a series. Got it? Similarly, 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus dash 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 dash. Again, what? A series. So in series, you have all the terms added up. Got it? Understood? Simple. Okay, now let's move on and discuss the terms of a sequence, guys. So basically, the different numbers in a sequence, they are called its terms, right? For example, if I write 2, 3, 5, 7, 11 and so on. So here I'll say that 2 is what? 2 is the first term, right? It is what? It is the first term. 3 is the second term. 5 is the third term, right? So how do you denote these terms? Okay, so you denote these terms by either A1, A2, A3 or T1, T2, T3 and so on, right? So that means you can say that, okay, A1 is 2. Here 1 denotes the position of 2. Okay, A2 is what everyone? 3. Here 2 denotes what? 2 denotes the position of 3. A3 is what? A3 is 5, right? So here the numbers that are written on bottom right hand side, they denote what? These denote the position. They denote the position of the term. Understood? So if I write AN everyone, that means I am talking about the term that occurs at the nth position. At the nth position. Got it? Now this n here, guys, can it be any fraction? Can it be a random decimal like 0.5, 0.6? No, right? You know that positions are always what? They are always a natural number. Positions are either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on, right? There is nothing that can occur at a position of, let's say, half. So this n here is what? It will always be a natural number. Natural number. Got it? Simple? Chalo. Now, let's do a very simple question based on this topic here. Okay, again, you can be asked a question similar to this in your board exams, either in MCQ or something, okay, where they are asking you to find, any term of the sequence and they have given an expression for the sequence, okay? So, here what they have given, okay, that Tn can be written as n into n plus 1. Okay, now you have to find the first 4 terms of this sequence. So, how do you do that, everyone? Let's start. So, the first term would be T1. Yes or no? Now, here they have given Tn to be an expression n plus 1 like this. So, to find T1, all you need to do is put 1 in place of n. That's it. Okay, so if I do that, everyone, what will I get? 1 into 1 plus 1. That would give us 2. So, T1 is 2. Now, can you figure out T2? So, in place of n, put 2, right? So, 2 into 2 plus 1. So, that would come out to be 6. What would be T3? T3 would be 3 into 3 plus 1. That would be 12. And so on and so forth, right? T4 would be 4 into 4 plus 1. That is 20. So, we have figured out all the 4 terms. In fact, you can find 100th term also. All you need to do is put n as 100. That's it. Okay, very simple question, guys. Okay, now let's move on and let's talk about progression. See, what is the difference between a sequence and a progression? That is what we will be focusing on, right? So, first of all, progression is a sequence. It is a sequence, guys. Okay, it is a sequence, but it is a special type of sequence. What it is? It is a special type of sequence. How special? So, basically in a progression, you can always find any term using a specific rule. So, what you can do? You can find terms using rule or formula. Using rule or formula, you can find any term. Okay, understood, everyone? Now, see, let's see some sequences that we saw already, right? So, one of the sequences that we have been mentioning a lot is the sequence of prime numbers, right? So, if I write 2, 3, 5, 7, 11 and so on, here, this is a sequence, we all know, right? Now, is there any rule through which you can tell, any nth term of this sequence? Let's suppose I'm asking you to figure out 1000th prime number. 1000th prime number. Can you figure that out? Is there any rule that can figure out this? See, if you search it on Google, you'll find it, okay? But is there a rule? Is there an expression in terms of n that can give you this? Or any prime number? If you have such expression, guys, please let me know, because we both then will become millionaires, because till now no such expression has been found that can predict prime numbers. Got it? So you don't have any rule using which you can find the nth term of this sequence. So this is not a progression. Understood? So this here, not a progression. But if I write something like this, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and so on and so forth. Now here guys, I can predict any term because I can write a rule for any term. For example, I can say that any nth term, let's just denote nth term by n. So any nth term would be what? It would be 2 into n. You can check. See, put n as 1, you will get 2. Put n as 2, you will get 4. Put n as 3, you will get 6. See? So I got a rule through which I can figure out any nth term of this sequence. So this here, people, is a progression. So I hope now if somebody asks you the difference between sequence and progression, you can tell that difference. Okay? So in a progression, we can always find a rule to get any term of that sequence. Got it? Understood? Now we have different types of progressions, guys, but we are not going to waste any time on discussing all the different types of progression because we only have one progression in our syllabus, that is arithmetic progression. ठीक है? चलिए जी, तो अब let's start the chapter, everyone. What is an arithmetic progression? So an arithmetic progression is a sequence of numbers or a progression of numbers basically such that the difference between the consecutive terms is constant. या फिर you can say that arithmetic progression is a sequence in which terms increase or decrease by a fixed number. Let's see certain examples, okay? For example, if I write something like this, let's suppose I'm writing 1, 5, 9, 13 and so on and so forth. So here you can see that if I add 4 with the first number, I get 5. Now again, if I add 4 with the second number, I get 9. If I add 4 with the third number, I get 13 and so on and so forth. Right? So here what is happening, guys? The terms are increasing by a fixed number. That fixed number is called common difference. It's called what? It's called common difference and it is denoted by D. Understood? Okay. And the first term is known as A. This is some of the things that we use, okay, in formula. So you should know that A is the first term, guys, and D is the common difference. Why is D called common difference? Let's understand that. So dekho bacha, we can clearly see that on adding 4, we are getting the next number, right? Or in other words, we can see that if I do 5 minus 1, I get 4. Yes or no? Again, if I do 9 minus 5, I get 4. Again, if I do 13 minus 9, I get 4 and so on and so forth. Right? So basically what I'm trying to say is A2 minus A1 is coming out to be A3 minus A2 is coming out to be A4 minus A3 and so on. They are all equals to the common difference D. Right? So that means the difference between consecutive terms would always come out same. Then only the given sequence will be an AP. Understood? That's very simple. So basically always remember an minus 1 would always be same. Then only the given sequence is an arithmetic progression. Okay? Chalo. Let's see one more example, everyone. Here, I'll just write the example here. Let's say I have negative 4, comma 0, comma 4. Sorry, let me write this again. 0, negative 4, negative 8, negative 12 and so on and so forth. Right, everyone? Okay, so here what is happening? If I add what? If I add a negative 4 with the first term, I get the second term. Yes or no? If I add negative 4 with the first term, I get I get negative 4. Then again, if I add negative 4 with the second term, I get negative 8. Then again, negative 4, negative 12 and so on. So here, what is the common difference? It is negative 4. So that means if you are adding negative 4 with the previous term, you are getting what? You are getting the next term. So what does this example tell you? This example tells you that common difference need not always be positive. It can be negative too. It can be -2, right? The only difference between these two APs is this here is an increasing AP, right? Why increasing AP? Because the terms are increasing in ascending order, right? While this here is a decreasing AP. Here the terms are decreasing, right? But D can be positive, D can be negative. Now, what if I ask you, this here, is this an AP or not? This here, is this an AP, everyone? Now, here what is happening? We are repeating the same term again and again and again, right? So, here clearly D would be what? A2 minus A1, 1 minus 1, that is 0. A3 minus A2, A4 minus A3, all of them are 0, right? So, D is coming out to be 0 here. So, guys, if D is 0, then also the given AP is, the given sequence is an AP. Understood? That means that if the same term is being repeated, then also that progression is an arithmetic progression. Remember that, okay? So, that tells us that D could be negative, D could be positive, or D could be 0 also, right? And this type of AP is constant AP because the same term is being repeated. Okay, simple, easy. Okay, so that is the same thing that is being repeated here. Common difference is denoted by D. D could be positive, negative, or 0, right? Okay, now nth term of a sequence is a linear expression in n, then the sequence is an AP. This is super important, guys. So remember, we just did a question where nth term was given something like this, n into n plus 1. So here the rule was given to find any nth term, right, for a sequence. Now remember, guys, for a sequence, only if the linear expression for nth term is given as, for a sequence, if the expression that is given for nth term is linear, then it will be an AP, otherwise it will not be an AP. So, अब यहाँ पर if I ask you कि if I have a sequence in which nth term is determined by this formula here, will this be an AP? The answer would be not an AP. Why not an AP, everyone? Because this here is not a linear expression, because this is n square plus n. Linear matlab degree 1, guys, if you have forgotten. Okay. So yes, n square plus n. Here, this is not an AP. Okay. But if I ask you, I have been given a sequence in which nth term is determined like this, 5n minus 2. Now here, nth term is being determined by a linear expression, right? The power of n is 1. So 5n minus 2, if the nth term is, if we are getting the nth term by this formula here, then this is an AP. So remember that in an AP, the nth terms formula or the nth terms expression should always be linear. Okay, that's it. This is what the second statement is telling you, and you do get questions on this. Okay, chaliye. So with that, everyone, let's start with the different types of problems that we get asked in board exams from the very simple definition of AP. Okay, so pehla type of question is, you will simply be asked which of the following is an AP, yeah, which of the following is not an AP. This is the first type, okay? First type of problem, first type. How do you figure out whether the given sequence is an AP or not? You figure out the common difference of consecutive terms and you see whether the common difference is coming out to be same or not. For example, let's start with the first one, everyone. Negative 1.2, 0.8, 2.8, right? So here, what you will do, you will first figure out A2 minus A1. So that means 0.8 minus 1.2. That comes out to be 2, everyone. Right? Then you will figure out 2.8 minus 0.8. So 2.8 minus 0.8. That also comes out to be 2. So we saw that if I am doing A2 minus A1, then that is coming out equal to A3 minus A2, right? So yes, since the common difference is same in both the cases, this here is an AP. Okay, we have to figure out which of the following is not an AP. So this is not our answer. Let's start with the second one here. Again, you will do the same thing. Let's do A2 minus A1 first. So 3 plus root 2 minus 3. What do you get, everyone? Root 2. Yes or no? Simple. Acha. Then let's do A2 minus A3 minus A2. So 3 plus 2 root 2 minus 3 plus root 2. So once you do the calculation, you will get root 2 again. So here again, this is matlab only till A3. Figure out common difference only till A3. That means figure out common difference only 2 times. If you are getting the same common difference, then it would be an AP. That's it. Okay? So yes, here also this is an AP. This is again an AP. Okay? Chalo. 4 by 3, 7 by 3 and so on. Let's do this one. So first of all, 7 by 3 minus 4 by 3, everyone, you will get 3 by 3. Yes? 9 by 3 minus 7 by 3, everyone, what would you get? 2 by 3. Okay, here's the problem. A2 minus A1 is 3 by 3, while A3 minus A2 is what? It is 2 by 3. So clearly this here is not AP. Not AP. So what is the answer, everyone? The answer is option number C. Sorry. This here, this is the answer. Right? Because we had to figure out not an AP. Okay? Final one also you can check, everyone. Here again do negative 2 by 5 minus 1 by 5. So what would you get? Minus 1 by 5. Right? Again negative 3 by 5 minus 2 by 5. What would you get? Minus 1 by 5 again. So yes, common difference is same. A3 minus A2 is equals to A2 minus A1. So this again is an AP. Okay? So everyone that gave the answer as option number C, pat yourself on the back, guys. Good job. Well done. Chalo. This was easy, right? Now let's move on to the second type of question that can be asked from the very basic definition of arithmetic progression. Okay? What is the second type, guys? The second type is the nth term would be given as a linear expression, and you would be asked either any term, for example A10 or A12, or you could be asked common difference also. So here they have asked common difference. Okay? Chalo. I know to figure out common difference, I need 2 terms. Right? I need 2 consecutive terms at that. So what I'll do is, I will first figure out A1 and then I'll figure out A2. Okay? Chaliye ji. So A1, what would be A1, everyone? All you need to do is, in the nth terms expression, which is 7 minus 4n. So in place of n, I just need to put 1. That's it. Okay? So 7 minus 4, everyone, I get 3. Okay, so A1 comes out to be 3. Now let's figure out A2, everyone. So to figure out A2, all I will do is, in place of n, I will put 2. So what do I get? Negative of 1. Right? So A2 comes out to be negative of 1. Now I have to figure out common difference, right? So common difference D is equals to A2 minus A1. So D would be equals to what? A2 is negative of 1 minus 3. So D comes out to be negative of 4, everyone. That's it. Khatam. Simple. Okay, so I hope you understood this. This was pretty basic, pretty easy. With that, let's move on to the next part. Okay, now another type of question. This is the third type that could be asked, and again, very simple. You are given an AP and common difference is asked. Bahut easy, right? The only difficult part is that the terms are given in terms of variables. So no worries, we have all learned how to, evaluate, like and unlike terms, right? So all we need to do is use that. Chalo ji. So here A1 is what? I'll just write it down for you. A1 is 1 by 3q. A2 is 1 minus 6q over 3q. A3 is equals to 1 minus 12q over 3q. Right, everyone? Okay. Now, let's do A2 minus A1 really fast. A2 minus A1. Okay. So, A2 minus A1 would be what? Let's see. So, 1 minus 6q over 3q minus 1 over 3q. Right? So, once you do this, what do you get? So here denominators are already same. So 1 minus 6q minus 1. So you will get minus 6q over 3q. This is what you will get. So finally you will get minus 2 as the answer. That's it. Okay? So yes, see, you don't need to figure out A3 minus A2 here. This is enough. Why is this enough, guys? Because they are already telling you that this is an AP. They have simply asked the common difference of the AP is. So they are already giving it as an AP. So you don't need to check whether it is an AP or not. You just need to figure out a common difference. So for that, A2 minus A1 is enough. You are getting minus 2. So that means you simply need to mark option number C as the correct answer. Okay, simple. I am very sure that a lot of people would have done it correctly. Very easy. Okay? Chalo, fourth type everyone, and the type that is mostly asked in board exams. Okay? And this is super important, guys. It has been asked in board exams again and again and again. Okay, so what happens here is you are given 3 terms of an AP. Okay, for example, here 3 terms of an AP are given. What is being asked? The variable x is being asked, right? The value of x is being asked. So you will be given 3 terms in which there would be a variable, and that value of variable would be asked. Okay, ji? So what you would do? So here you will use the concept that common differences, this is an AP, common difference has to be same. That means A2 minus A1 would be equal to A3 minus A2. That's it. Okay, so what is the concept you are going to use? You are going to use the concept A3 minus A2 is equals to A2 minus A1. That's it. You will get an equation for x, and you can solve it for the value of x. Okay, ji? Chaliye. So let's do this. This is A1 everyone, this is A2, and this is A3. So A3 is 3x plus 2 minus A2, so minus x plus 10 is equals to x plus 10 minus A1, which is minus of 2x. Okay? Okay. Now, from here, you can solve this. So, 3x minus x is 2x, plus 2 minus 10 is minus of 8, is equals to minus x plus 10. Okay, so here you get 3x is equals to 18, x is equals to 6. This is the value here. The value of x comes out to be what, everyone? The value of x comes out to be option number A, that is 6. Okay, so all we did was use this common difference wala thing. That's it, guys. Okay, in fact, if you notice here, if you did not even notice, no worries. We'll just see this because this is important and can help you in figuring out the answer really fast. So, bacha dekho, whenever A, B and C are 3 terms in AP, they are what? They are 3 terms in AP. So, in that scenario, twice of middle term would be equal to the sum of extreme terms. Twice of middle terms would be equal to the sum of extreme term. Or you could say that B is the arithmetic mean of A and C. Arithmetic mean of A and C. So, arithmetic mean is something I'm sure you must have studied. If you have not studied, no worries. You will be studying it in higher grades. But for now, this is actually helpful. So, here you could have done just that. You could have taken twice of A2 is equals to A1 plus A3. Okay, so whenever A, B and C are in AP, twice of the middle term is equals to the sum of extreme terms. I hope you all remember that. So, yes, with that, guys, let's move on. Chalo. Here. Okay, now let's talk about the nth term of an AP. What is the formula for that? Okay, so uske liye we'll simply just observe. See, bacha, if I write the terms like this, A1, then we have A2, A3, A4, and finally I'll write AN here. Okay, now notice what is A1? A1 is simply A, the first term, A, right? What is A2, everyone? A2 would be the first term plus the common difference. You will add something with A1 to get A2, that is D, right? What would be A3, everyone? A3 would be A plus. Now here, you are adding D with A plus D, yes or no? You are adding common difference with A2. So, A plus D, that would be A plus 2D. Similarly, what would be A4? A4 would be A plus 2D plus D, right? A3 plus D, that's it. So, A plus 3D. Now, notice here, when I had 2 here, we had the coefficient of D as 1, or what is being multiplied with D as 1. When we had 3 here, what was being multiplied with D? 2. When we had 4 here, what was being multiplied with D? 3. So, this here is 1 less than this. Yes or no? So, I can say that AN would be equals to A plus N minus 1 into D. Okay, so N is the position and finally, nth term would be A plus N minus 1D. So, the relationship lies between N and the thing that is being multiplied with D. This is 1 less than this. ठीक है. So from here directly we get a super important formula of nth term, which is a plus n minus 1d. You have so many questions based on simple formula, this simple formula. ठीक है. चलो, now we are going to move on and discuss problems based on this formula. ठीक है. One type of problem would be that A is given, any term is given, like 10th term, 12th term, or any term is given, and you are asked common difference. For example, here they have asked common difference, है ना. या फिर A and D could be given and you are asked any specific term. Let's figure out 100 term. तो क्या होता है कि basically you could get a question in which this formula here, A plus n minus 1d, in this formula here, how many variables you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So 3 things would be given, 4th thing would be asked. Okay, these types of questions are very simple, just formula based. Okay, ji. So here let's just start doing it. So we are given 10th term, right everyone? So let me write this. A10 would be equals to A plus 9D. Yes or no? Okay, so 10th term is given to us as negative of 19. A is given to us as 8 plus 9D. So now here let's just evaluate. So negative 27 is equals to 9D. D comes out to be negative of 3. How simple was that? So what's the answer everyone? Option number D is the correct answer. Okay, okay, simple, formula based guys. That's it. Okay, so yes, with that, let's move on and discuss this problem here. Okay, so what is being asked? So here AP is given to you. Okay, so if AP is given, then you can always figure out A. It's the first term. You can figure out D by subtracting A2 and A1. Okay, so A and D is given to us. That means. Okay. Now the question is, which term will be 120 more than 21st term? So let the term, let nth term be 120 plus 21st term. Now, what do we need to figure out? Do we need to figure out n or do we need to figure out an? So, whenever you are confused like this, ki bhai which term matlab what, do we need to figure out n or do we need to figure out an? You can figure out both. You can do what? You can figure out both if you are confused guys. Okay, but it's a 2-marker question guys, and believe me, the value of n will suffice. Like which term of this AP, that means we just have to figure out the value of n. But if you're confused, you can, figure out an also, so that you don't lose marks. Okay, ji? Chaliye. So we have said that okay, nth term be 120 plus A21. Okay. That means an should be equals to 120 plus A21. Yes or no? Okay, we have to figure out the value of n. Now, we know the formula for n. It would be A plus n minus 1d, right, is equals to 120 plus. Now, I know the formula for A21 also because I'll be applying the same formula. So, that would be A plus n minus 1. N is what? 21. So, 21 minus 1 everyone, 20. So, A plus 20d. ठीक है, simple. Okay, now let's put the value of A and D here. So, the value of A is 3. And we do not know, we have to figure out. The value of D would be what? 15 minus 3 everyone. A2 minus A1. That would be 12. Is equals to 120 plus, here again A is 3 and 20 into 12. Okay, now you have to simply evaluate it for the value of n. That's it guys. First of all, 3 and 3 here, they get cancelled. Okay, now this becomes n minus 1 into 12. And here I'll take 12 common. So here I'll get 10 from here and here I'll get 20. Okay, chalo. 12 and 12 also gets cancelled. N minus 1 comes out to be 30. So n comes out to be 31. So that means A31 or 31st term would be 120 more than A21. Okay, now if you're confused guys, you can figure out 31st term also. Okay, so A31 would be equals to what? A, that is 3 plus n minus 1, that means 31 minus 1, that is 30 into D. D is 12. Okay, so this would come out to be 3 plus 360. So that would come out to be 363. 31st term is what? 363. So this we did just to make sure that our marks is not deducted. ठीक है? Simple है? Okay. चल. So with that, let's move on and do the next problem. Okay. Show that a minus b whole square, comma a square plus b square and a plus b whole square are in AP. So whenever you have to show that the three terms are in AP, the only thing you need to do is show that a2 minus a1 is equals to a3 minus a2. That means common difference is same, right? So here, let me take this as T1. So T1 is a minus b whole square. T2 is equals to a square plus b square. T3 is equals to a plus b whole square. Okay, everyone? Okay. Now, what we are going to do, we are first going to figure out T2 minus T1. Okay, and then we'll figure out T3 minus T2. So, T2 minus T1 would be what? So, a square plus b square minus a minus b whole square. I hope you people remember all your identities, guys, because I am going to use an identity here to open a minus b whole square. So, a minus b whole square is a square plus b square minus 2ab. Right? So, here what we'll get? A square plus b square minus a square when I open the bracket minus b square plus 2ab. So, here everything will get cancelled. Only 2ab will remain. Twice of ab will remain. Okay? Oh, sorry. Yes. Now, let's figure out T3 minus T2. Okay, let's figure out T3 minus T2. So, T3 minus T2 would be what? A plus b whole square minus a square plus b square. Put it in a bracket, guys. Please put it in a bracket. Okay, so because minus sign is there, you should always be aware of minus sign because it causes a lot of silly problems or silly mistakes basically. Okay, chalo, let's open the first bracket here using identity. So we'll have a square plus b square plus twice of ab. And here we'll have minus of a square minus of b square. You can see that the only thing that is remaining is twice of ab. So from here you can clearly see that okay, T2 minus T1 came out to be equals to T3 minus T2 because both of these are actually equals to twice of ab. So that simply means that T1, T2, T3 are in AP. They are in what? They are in AP. Okay, understood everyone. All you need to do is show that the common difference is same. That's it. Chaliye ji. So this again is an important problem everyone and a very simple one also, right? Chalo. Very interesting question, guys. Very interesting. And please pay attention here. The question is very simple and AP is given, okay? And the question is ki which term of this AP will be the first negative term? Again, which term? Matlab nth, the value of n we have to find, and just to be on safe side, we will figure out an also. Okay? So which term? Matlab you have to figure out the value of n, and you to be on safe side, you have to figure out the value of an also. Please do that. Okay? Acha. So let first negative term be an. Let first negative term, everyone, negative term be an. Now, if that is true and an is the first negative term, it has to be less than 0. Negative matlab it is less than 0. Right? So, an is what? Less than 0. Okay. Now, what I will do is, I will write down the formula for an. What is that formula? A plus n minus 1 into d. And this should be less than 0. Okay, everyone? I know the value of A because my AP is given. I know the value of D because again AP is given, so I can figure out D very easily. What I do not know, I do not know the value of N. So here the first thing we are going to do is figure out the value of N. N. Now remember guys, whenever you have an inequality, please don't be afraid of it. Inequalities are almost similar to equalities. Like the process of solving inequality is almost same as process of solving equality. Okay, we'll see, don't worry. So first of all, let's just put everything here. So 20 plus n minus 1 into d. What is d, everyone? So just subtract 19 1 by 4 minus 20. So d is this. Minus 3 by 4. This is d. Okay, everyone? Okay. So minus 3 by 4. Less than 0. Okay, so now how can I rewrite it? I can rewrite it like this. Sorry. Okay, so I can rewrite it like this. 20 minus 3 by 4n plus 3 by 4 should be less than 0. Okay? So 20 plus 3 by 4, let me rewrite it. So I can write it like this. 20 plus 3 by 4 is equals to 83 by 4 everyone, minus 3 by 4n less than 0. Now we will have to solve it because we have simplified the left hand side. So what we will do is, remember, treat this less than sign just like equality sign. Okay? So if we had an equality sign here and this negative 3 by 4n would be going on the right hand side, what would happen? The sign would change. Negative would become positive, right? So do just that. So here I am writing 83 by 4 is less than 3 by 4n. Sign will change. This negative on the other hand side, when it goes, it will become positive. Okay? And this inequality will remain. Okay, now again guys, if you were solving equality, what would you have done next? You would have cancelled 4. 4 and 4 would get cancelled, or you would have taken 4 on the other hand side and then cancel whatever you want to do. Okay, so do just that. Do just that. Okay, so now what do we have? We have 83 is less than 3n. Now again, if we had an equality sign, I would bring this 3 on the left hand side so that I get the value of n, right? So do just that. Do just that. So 83 divided by 3. N should be greater than this. Okay, what is 83 divided by 3? Let's figure it out everyone. 3 into 2 is 6. 3 into 7 is 21. So 27 2 by 3. So n has to be greater than 27 2 by 3. Okay? Now 27 2 by 3 everyone, when we calculate it, it's what? It cannot be the position of anything, right? So n cannot be 27 2 by 3. What could be the value of n that is greater than 27 2 by 3? The next value, the next natural number, which is 28, right? N can be 28 because n cannot be 27 2 by 3 and it cannot be any number less than 28 and more than 27 2 by 3 because all such numbers are what? Fractions. Okay, yeah, decimals. So n has to be 27 because n is a natural number. Okay, now you can check A28 if you want everyone. A28 would be what? A plus 27D. Right? So the value of A, 20 plus 27 into what is D? Minus 3 by 4. Okay? So we can calculate this. So wait. Okay. So 80 minus 7321 to 81 over 4. So you can clearly see you're getting negative 1 by 4. Right or not? Okay? Wait, we did it correctly. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So this here is the first negative term. Okay? Chalo. So I hope you understood these types of problems. Again, common type of problems that are asked in boards. Okay? Chaliye, let's move on to the next problem. Again, very simple guys, and again is very common type of problem. Okay? So here what we have to do, we have to figure out how many 2-digit numbers are divisible by 6. So first of all, let's start writing down 2-digit numbers that are divisible by 6, right? So the first 2-digit number that is divisible by 6 is 12. Then 18, then 24, and so on and so forth, right? What is the last 2-digit number that is divisible by 12? 96. If you are confused how to figure that out, no worries guys. What you can do is you can take 99, which is the last 2-digit number, right? I don't know if 99 is divisible by, you can take 99, which is the last 2-digit number, and see what you're getting by dividing it by 6, right? So when I divide it by 6, what do I get? 39, 36, 3. I get 3 as the remainder. What do I get? I get 3 as the remainder. So that tells me that if I subtract 3 from 99. If I subtract 3 from 99, whatever number I get would be what? It would be a multiple of 6, or it would be divisible by 6. Right? So whenever you are confused in questions like these, what would be the last number? Koi baat nahi. Take the largest 2-digit number here, divide it and see the remainder. If you just subtract the remainder from the number you took, you will get the number that is divisible. Okay? Chalo, divide 6. Now, here, first of all, notice this is an AP. This is what? It's an AP. Yes or no? Is it not an AP, everyone? It's an AP. Hai na? Why is it an AP? I'll show you. See here. Figure out A2 minus A1. A2 minus A1 is equals to A3 minus A2, again, which is equals to 6. Because see, when we are adding 6 with the previous number, we are getting the next number. Right? So whenever you have questions like these, find out how many numbers are divisible by 12 or by 6, you know, or 3-digit number or 2-digit number, remember to write down the sequence, and that sequence will always be an AP. Okay? And what is the common difference here? The common difference here is 6. The value of A is 12. The value of nth term, everyone, is 96. And what do we need to figure out? We need to figure out the value of n. Yes or no? We have to figure out how many numbers are there, 2-digit numbers are there, which are divisible by 6, right? So I wrote this AP, and all I need to do is figure out the value of n, figure out the position of 96. Because whatever position of 96 is there, that many numbers are divisible by 6. Okay. Chalo, so let's start solving. I know my formula. An is equals to A plus n minus 1d. Right? So nth term is 96. First term, everyone, is 12 plus n minus 1d is 6. Right? So I can take 6 common here, or I can take 12 here on the left hand side. Whatever you want to do, you can do it to solve it fast. So here I'll get 84 divided by 6 is equals to n minus 1. So from here, n comes out to be what? 6. 14 plus 1, which is equals to 15. N comes out to be 15, everyone. The value of n is what? It is 15. So, see, this n here, again I'm repeating, guys, this n here is the position of 96. Okay? But at the same time, it is giving us the number of values or the number of terms in this sequence. Right? This is A1, this is A2, this is A3, and this is AN. Right? So if I figure out N, I figure out the total terms in this AP. That means I figure out the total numbers that are divisible by 6. 2-digit numbers that are divisible by 6. Okay? Chalo. So remember, in such type of problems, you have to form an AP. Okay? Okay, next, if the 7th term of an AP is 1 by 9 and its 9th term is 1 by 7, find its 63rd term. Chaliye ji. So here, we have been given 2 nth terms, values, okay, and we have to figure out another nth terms value. So yahan par 2 equations will be formed. Got it? Let's see how the equations will be formed. So first I will take this part. 7th term of an AP is 1 by 9. So here A7 is equals to 1 by 9, everyone. Now let's open it up using the formula An is equals to A plus n minus 1d. Okay. Now here what we'll get? We'll get A7 is 1 by 9. So 1 by 9 is equals to A plus, and the value of n is 7, right? So 7 minus 1, 60. This is the first equation. Okay, now let's figure out the second equation. How will we figure out the second equation? By this part here. 9th term is 1 by 7. So that means A9 is equals to 1 over 7. So now again I will plug the values here. So I'll get 1 by 7 is equals to A plus 8d. I've just used A plus n minus 1d here. So in place of A9, I'm writing A plus 8d, and this is equals to 1 by 7. ठीक है, that's it. Okay, now I have 2 linear equations in terms of A and D. In place of x and y, we have a and d here, but they are both what? They are both linear equations, and you know how to solve linear equations. We have done the one shot of that also, right? So, chalo ji, how will we figure it out? We'll just use elimination method. Okay? So, let's just say this is 1 and this is 2. Now, if I subtract 2 from 1. Subtract 2 from 1. If I subtract 2 from 1, what do I get, everyone? I'll just write it here so that you people don't get confused. 1 by 7 is equals to a plus 8d. And here I have 1 by 9 is equals to a plus 6d. Right? And we are doing subtraction. Why are we doing subtraction? Because if we do that, we'll get rid of a, right? We'll get rid of this a. 8d minus 6d would be 2d. Here what we'll get? 1 by 7 minus 1 by 9. 1 by 7 minus 1 by 9. So here I'll write it, everyone. 2d is equals to 1 by 7 minus 1 by 9. Okay? So 2d is equals to 2 over 63. So d is equals to 1 over 63. We got d as 1 over 63. Okay? Now you can put the value of d in any of the equation and figure out the value of a, right? So put d is equals to 1 over 63 in 1. If I do that, what do I get, everyone? A plus 6 into 1 over 63. 6 into 1 by d, 6 into d is equals to 1 by 9, right? So here a will come out to be what? 1 by 9. 1 by 9 I am writing as 7 by 63. I can do that, right? Multiply 9 with 7, above also by 7, because I need to do 7 by 63 into 6 by 63. That's it. Okay, so a comes out to be what? 1 over 63. This is a. Right? So we have figured out the value of a and d. Why did we figure out the value of a and d? Because to figure out 63rd term, everyone, I needed the value of a and d. Right? To figure out 63rd term, I need the value of a, na? And I need the value of d. Okay? Chalo. So now 63rd term would be what? A plus 62d. Right? So that would be 1 over 63 plus 62 into 1 over 63. So now this would come out to be 1 plus 62 over 63. That is equals to 1. So 63rd term, everyone, comes out to be 1. This is the final answer. Simple. So remember, guys, whenever two terms of the AP is given and any other term of the AP is asked, you find two linear equations in two variables or a pair of linear equations in the variables a and d, solve it for the value of a and d, and then use that a and d to figure out another term's value. Okay? Now here I am going to tell you something interesting also, which you can use in MCQ type question. तो बच्चा देखो यहाँ पर, see here, what was given to us? Here, short trick. I'll write short trick. Okay, so I was given that A7 is equals to 1 by 9, right? And A9 is equals to 1 by 7. This was given to us. A9 is equals to 1 by 7. Okay. Now, whenever two terms are given to you and you need to figure out common difference, there's a very simple method. I'll tell you what that method is. The method is to subtract these two values. So I will subtract 1 by 7 and 1 by 9 and then divide it by subtracting these two values. What? These two? The positions here, 9 and 7. I'll write it here. I'll write it here. Common difference D is equals to the value of mth term and nth term subtracted divided by m minus n. That's it, guys. That's it. You can do it in your brain. Okay? So 1 by 7 minus 1 by 9 over 9 by 7. If you do this here, you will get 1 over 63. You can check. Okay? So this is something you can use in MCQ type questions where you are given two terms, and let's suppose common difference is asked, or the value of A is asked, or any other terms value is also asked. You can find the common difference directly, right? And see, if you find the common difference directly, you can just plug the value of D in any one equation and find the value of A. You will not have to solve the pair of linear equations. So I hope this is helpful for all of you people. With that, let's move on, guys, and now let us discuss this very interesting part or point where a lot of people get confused. Okay, so do not read this right now. You'll get your notes, guys, so tab you can read. Okay, for now concentrate on what I'm trying to tell you. So let's suppose, guys, I have been given a sequence like this: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, cool. Now I am asking you, what is a second term from last? Second term but from last. What is second term from last? It's very easy to see that it is 10. It is what? It is 10. It's very clear to see, right? Okay. Now let's figure out the relationship in this here, like second term from last is 10. Now let's see what is this term from the beginning, like what is the position of 10 from the beginning. So from the beginning, the position of 10 is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth position from beginning. Fifth position from beginning. Okay, chalo. Now notice that from end its position was second, and from beginning its position was 5, and if you add 5 and 2, what do you get? You get 7. What is the significance of 7 here? The significance of 7 is that 7 is one more than total terms here. Yes or no? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sorry, 1 less. My fault, guys, my fault. 1 less than total terms. 1 less than total terms. Total terms that we have in AP, minus 1. And you can see this with any other example also. For example, now let me erase this 10 wala wo. Let's suppose I'm talking about third term from the end. Third term from the end is 8, right? Third term from the end is 8. But from the beginning, it is what? It is fourth term. From the beginning, it is fourth term, right? If I add 4 and 3, everyone, again I get 7, which is total term minus 1. Same thing. So now, why is this important? Because this is important because there are questions where you have to figure out nth term or mth term from the end. Mth term from the end. So if you have to figure out mth term from the end, mth term from end, you cannot simply use the formula A plus M minus 1D. Why is this formula wrong? This formula is wrong because mth term from end is not mth term from beginning. ये formula है for beginning वाला part, right? If you had to figure out mth term from the beginning, this formula would be useful. But mth term from end would not have the same position, right? So how would you figure out mth term from end? So for that, we will use this thing here, from end. Wait. तो अब देखो, let total terms be n. Total terms in a sequence be n. If total terms in a sequence is n, and we are talking about mth term from the end, then notice this thing that I wrote here. I know that let's say we are talking about rth term from this term, which is mth term from end. Its position from beginning. From beginning is r. Okay? So rth term from beginning, from start or beginning. Okay? That means I am saying that the position, that the term which is mth term from the end is what? It is rth term from the beginning. Okay? So अब I know the relationship between m and r, that if I add m and r, I will get what? M plus r would be equals to total terms which I have taken as n minus 1. Now from here you can tell that okay, r is equals to n minus m. This would be total terms plus 1. Why did I write it wrong? This would be total terms plus 1. My fault, guys, my fault. टोटल टर्म्स +1, ठीक है. अब ठीक है, हाँ 7 इज टोटल टर्म्स 6 + 1 ना, हाँ ठीक है, अब ठीक है. So now I know that m plus r would be n plus 1. It would be equals to n plus 1, right? So from here I can say that r is equals to n minus m plus 1. So that means that any term whose position is m from end, that term's position from beginning would be n minus m plus 1. So that means the value of that term, that is am, would be a plus, now what is the position? The position is n minus m plus 1 into d. This is how we get it. ठीक है. So if you ever get confused, guys, you can take a very simple example like this कि अच्छा third term from the end. So from start it is the fourth term. How did we get fourth term? So you see the total terms were 6. So if you add 1 with 6, you get 7 and then subtract 3. ठीक है, n minus m plus 1. Okay, so this is one way of getting this. Please remember this, guys. mth term from end is n minus m plus 1th term from beginning. That is what is written here. ठीक है? Now, there is another way of doing such problems also. If you ever forget this, कोई बात नहीं, we know AP and we have common sense. If I have to figure out third term from the end, what I will do is I will just write the AP in reverse. For example, if I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, ठीक है? So I'll just write it like this: 12, 10, 8, and till 2. अब I've written the same AP but in reverse order. Ab, what has changed? The last term has become the first term, right? So now the value of A is 12. What is the value of D? The value of D has changed signs. For example, pehle the value of D was what? Positive 2. But now I have written the AP in reverse. So now you can see that if I add negative 2 with 12, I'll get 10, right? So the value of D has become negative 2. So remember, when you are writing an AP in reverse, the last term becomes the first term and the sign of D changes. If the D was positive before, it will become negative. If the D is was negative before, it will become positive. ठीक है? Okay? चलो. So from there you can easily figure out the value of the mth term. We'll understand it using an example. For example, let's see this here. Sixth term from the end of this AP. So we have been given an AP. We have to find sixth term from the end. Let's do it both ways so that you can understand. So first, let us use common sense wala cheez. There I am going to write the entire AP but in reverse. So negative 40, uske alawa I don't know anything. And then we have 11, 14, 17. I have written the entire AP in reverse. The only thing I need to do is, for this AP, I have to find A6. Yes or no, guys? For this AP, we have to find A6. That's it. Now, in this here, let me write it thoda अच्छे से. A6 we have to figure out. ठीक है? Now, here we know the value of A. The value of A has become what? Negative 40. Right? What is the value of D now? What is the value of D? You don't know the next term. कोई बात नहीं, you know the last two terms. ठीक है? Subtract these. या फिर just figure out D from here and change its sign. For example, here D is what? D is 14 minus 17, which is negative 3. So if D is negative 3 here, then that means that यहाँ पर D will become positive 3. Right or not? Or you can just subtract the next term from the previous term. 17 minus 14, 3, guys. ठीक है? So remember, the sign of D changes when you're reversing the AP. ठीक है? अब can you not figure out A6? It's very easy. Negative 40, that is A, plus n minus 1D. N is what, everyone? We don't know the value of n. Oh, we don't know the value of n. Arre. ठीक है? There is a problem, everyone. What is the problem? अच्छा, we know the value of n. I'm so sorry. So sorry, guys. ठीक है? A6. This is the value of n, na? 6. Yes. So 6 minus 1, D. My fault, guys. My fault. D is 3. I thought we had to figure out the total terms, right? ठीक है? So अब A6 is equals to what? Negative 40 plus 15. So A6 would be equals to negative of 25. This is the answer. Negative of 25. ठीक है? So here, let's mark this, and everyone that got the correct answer, everyone, good job, well done. So this was using common sense. This method was using common sense wala method. ठीक है? Now let's use the formula. The formula said that sixth term from end would be n minus m plus 1th term from beginning. Right, everyone? Where n is what, everyone? n is total number of terms. अब यहीं पर rectification is bad. Why? Because if you do not know this method, if you did not use common sense, if you did not do the question like this, you would use this method. अब यहाँ पर the problem is to figure out A6. To figure out A6, you need to know the value of n. You need to know the value of n. Right or not? You have the value of A, you have the value of D very easily. But you don't have the value of n. n is the total number of terms in the AP. So, iske liye what you'll have to do? You'll have to figure out n. How will you figure out n? So, to figure out n, all you need to do is need to figure out the position of this term. The position of this term is n. Right? So, to figure out n, all you need to do is see ki where does negative 40 lies. This is what you have to do. Remember, if you ever have to find the total terms in an AP, then what you need to do is you need to figure out the position of the last term. ठीक है? तो पहले you will figure out n. After figuring out n, you will put it here and then you will do the question. And that would be what? It would be a big task. Lots of calculations. Lots of room for small errors. ठीक है? So yes, you can do it like this, guys, but I would ask you to use this. ठीक है? Chalo. So I hope you understood. With that, let's move on. Now we are going to talk about some of nth terms of an AP, but before that, we are going to listen to a story, because I know some of you people might be feeling bored, lamba session hai and lots of problems you have been doing, ठीक है? तो चलो relax, I'll tell you a very interesting story. So देखो बच्चा, once upon a time, there was a very, very smart student, and the student was very little, okay? Like I would say the student was in primary school. Now the teacher, she was very tired, okay? That day she was very tired. She was like, "Aaj nahi hai mood padhane ka." So she asked what? She is like, "Okay, students, open up your notebooks and start adding the numbers from 1 to 100 and tell me the answer." Now, if if the students were like us, common people, what they would do? They would, start adding 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 and so on and so forth, right? But we had the student, the bright student, and that student was like, आज तो मैम को I'll not let rest. I'll not let the madam rest. I want her to teach. So I'll give the answer really fast. So he literally gave the answer within minutes. He stood up and said, "Ma'am, the answer is very simple. It's 5050. Ma'am shocked, student rocked. Ma'am was like, "How did you figure that out?" So the student was like, "Let me show you." So let me show you, guys. So what did the student do? He wrote the numbers like this: 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus dash 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 99 plus 100. This is what they had to do, right? Now the student was like, "Let me write this down again. The same sum I am writing again, but in reverse order." So I'll first write 100, then I'll write 99, then I'll write 98, and so on and so forth. Plus 2, finally plus 1. Now, he added both of these things. What did he do? He added 1 plus 100. He then added 2 plus 99. He added 3 plus 98. He added 99 by plus 2. He added 100 plus 1. So, he simply added all of these. Okay, so let me write it down and maybe then you will understand what we are getting. See everyone, S plus S, simply 2S. No brainer. Okay, now 1 plus 100, 101. Okay, plus 2 plus 99, 101. Plus 98 plus 3, 101. plus dash dash dash. Again 101, again 101. So what did he do? He wrote the same series but in reverse order, and then he proceeded to add both the series. He added both the series but in a particular way. What particular way? He added 100 with 1, 99 with 2, 98 with 3, and so on. And what he saw was that in each case you are getting 101. Now, can you not add all these 101s together? Gauss could. The name of the kid was Gauss, by the way, okay? Carl Friedrich Gauss. So, Carl Friedrich Gauss, he said that how many 101s are there? 100. Why? Because simply, see, how many pairs are being formed? 100 pairs. 100 pairs only, na? Right? So, that means twice of S is equals to 101 into 100. So, from here, S would be equals to 101 into 100 divided by 2, which would be equals to 5050. That's it, guys. How interesting was that? And this has significance, a lot of significance in fact. Okay, when we'll be discussing sum of nth terms, we would be using the very same method to extract the formula for sum of nth terms of an AP. Okay, so yes guys, be like Carl Friedrich Gauss, use smart work. Right? Rather than just toiling away and doing big calculation, make sure that you break your calculations into easier bits. Okay? And always use common sense and smart work. Chalo ji. Now, how can we use this thing here to figure out the sum of nth terms of an AP? Now, before that, let's figure out what is Sn. When I write Sn, what do I mean? By Sn, I mean that starting from the first term, I have to figure out the sum till n terms. Okay, starting from first term, we have to figure out the sum of n terms. This is Sn. Okay? How are we going to figure that out? What's the formula? How is it derived? Let's see. It's very interesting. Okay? So, I'll write it here, everyone. Sn. That means sum of first n terms of an AP. Okay? It is equals to what? A plus. Now, the second term. I'm not writing second term as A2. Instead, I'm writing it as A plus D. Third term, everyone. Third term would be A plus 2D. Fourth term, everyone. A plus 3D. And so on and so forth. The last term would be A plus n minus 1D. Yes? Okay? Chalo, we have to figure out the sum. Now, we are using the Gauss method and we are going to write the same thing but in reverse order. Okay? So, let me write the same thing but in reverse order, everyone. So, Sn is equals to, I'll write the last term first. So, A plus n minus 1D. Then, just below A plus D, I'll be writing A plus n minus 2D. This is the second last term, right? A plus n minus 2D. The third last term would be A plus n minus 3D. And so on and so forth. And finally, the last term would be A here. Okay? Now, we are going to simply add, guys, and we are going to add in a similar way like we added the numbers from 1 to 100. So, what is that way? Let's see here. Sorry. I am going to add A with A plus n minus 1D. I am going to add A plus D with A plus n minus 2D. And so on and so forth. Okay? So, let's see what we are getting. Okay. Chalo. So, first of all, if I add Sn here 2 times, I'll get twice of Sn. This is equals to, now A plus n minus 1D. This is very simple, guys. You will get 2A plus n minus 1D. Right? Okay. Now, let's move on. What would be A plus D plus A minus 2A n minus 2D? Here, I'll do A plus D plus A plus n minus 2D. I'll break it open and D minus 2D. I have broken this bracket open. ठीक है? Okay. So, now A plus A is 2A plus, now D minus 2D is minus D. So, ND minus D. So, here if I take D common, I'll get n minus 1. So, again I'm getting the same thing, 2A plus n minus 1D. In fact, you can keep adding in this pattern and you will always get 2A plus n minus 1D. You will always get this, everyone. ठीक है? तो अब What is happening? You are getting the same term here and the same term is getting added up. So what would be the total sum? The total sum would be how many times this is getting added. So how many times this is getting added? Guys, how many pairs would be here? N number of pairs, because we had n number of terms here, we had n number of terms here, so total terms were 2n, right? And we formed pairs, so total pairs became n, right? Okay. So twice of Sn is equals to n into 2a plus n minus 1 into d, right? So Sn became n over 2, then in this bracket 2a plus n minus 1d. This here is the formula for sum of n terms of an AP. Okay, please mug up this formula, guys. Very simple, very easy and super duper important. Okay, okay. Chalo. Now, we can further, rewrite this formula like this also. Sn is equals to n by 2. Now, if I break this 2a like this, a plus a. Okay? I have broken down 2a as a plus a. So, a plus n minus 1d. Right? Now, a plus n minus 1d is what? This is the formula for nth term of an AP, right? So, here I can rewrite it like this. N by 2, a plus a. This here. Right? So, basically what I am trying to say is Sn can be written down as n by 2, a plus an. A plus an, like this. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Simple. Okay, chalo ji. So now I hope you remember these formulas, and now we are going to move on and discuss some problems. Okay, chalo. If the sum of first m terms of an AP is 2m square plus 3m, then its second term is. So, bacha, yaad hai, I told you that for an AP, the nth term would always be a linear equation. Nth term would always be a linear equation, and the sum of nth term would always be a quadratic expression. Not equation, expression, sorry. Okay? So, I'll write it here. Sum of nth terms would always be a quadratic expression. Quadratic expression. Quadratic matlab the highest power of the variable is 2. For example, here you can see the highest power of the variable is 2. Okay. This is interesting. Let's do this problem now. If the sum of m terms is given like this, Sm is given like this, 2m square plus 3m. We have to find second term. So, what do we need to figure out? We need to figure out A2. Okay. So, first of all, guys, remember, this is expression given for sum of m terms, not m term. है ना? यहाँ पर a lot of people make mistake. तो देखो, please see what I am going to do. First of all, I am going to figure out S1. Now, S1, by S1, I mean sum of first terms of an AP. Sum of first term of an AP में तो एक ही term आएगा, that is A1. So, that means S1 is equals to A1. S1 is what? S1 is equals to A1. ठीक है, cool. Now, what is S2, everyone? Let's talk about S2. S2 would be sum of first two terms of an AP. First two terms of an AP. A1 plus A2. S2 is what? A1 plus A2. Cool. Okay. Now, what if I do S2 minus S1? Please notice what is going to happen if I do S2 minus S1. S2 minus S1 would be A1 plus A2 minus A1. Yes or no? This would give us what? This would give us only A2 because A1 will get cancelled. So, S2 minus S1 came out to be what? It came out to be A2. So, this is what we have to use here. That means, this is what we have to use to find A2. In fact, guys, very important. I'll write it here. You people also note it down. I'm writing it here. Remember, sum of, let's say, n terms, okay? Minus sum of n minus 1 terms would always give you the nth term of the AP. This is super duper important. Matlab, if you are taking the sum of n terms and then you are taking the sum of n minus 1 term and you are subtracting, the only term remaining would be the nth term. You can check it, okay? You can check A1 plus A2 plus an, and from it you are subtracting n minus 1 terms. That means you are subtracting a1 plus a2 plus that till an minus 1 you are subtracting. Okay? So this everything will get cancelled, only anth term will remain. So this is important, this is simple, this is very useful in a lot of questions. Okay? Chalo. So let's come back here and start doing it. Okay. So now first of all S1 is A1. So how will you figure out S1? You just put M as 1 here and you will get it. Right? So S1 is equals to A1 is equals to, here I am going to put M as 1. So I will get 2 plus 3, that is 5. Simple. How will you get S2 everyone? S2 is A1 plus A2. How will you get it? So in place of M you will put 2, right? So 2 into 2 square plus 5 into 2. Sorry, 3 into M. 3 into 2 everyone. 3 into 2. So what you will get? 8 plus 6. That is equals to 14. Okay, now we know that A2 is equals to S2 minus S1. So 14 minus 5, that is equals to 9. 9 is the answer everyone. Option number B is the answer. The question was not hard, but yes, there was certain logic to it. So please make sure that you don't do stupid mistakes where you figure out S2 and just say that okay, S2 is A2, S2 is not A2. And please remember this one, guys. With that, let's move on and let's do this assertion reason type question. It came in 2023, guys. Let's see. Okay, so this is assertion here is this. So if A, B, C are in AP, if and only if 2B is equals to A plus C. They are saying that 3 terms A, B and C will only be in AP if twice of the middle term would be equals to the sum of extreme terms. Guys, I have already told you this. We have seen it in today's session only. And this directly comes from common difference wala thing. B minus A is equals to C minus B. So from there, twice of B would be equals to A plus C. So yes, this is true. Even its reverse is true, that if 2B is equals to A plus C, then we can rewrite it as B minus A is equals to C minus B, right? I'll just write it down. We can rewrite it as B minus A is equals to C minus B. So if we can say that, then clearly A, B, C are in AP because common difference is equal. So if and only if, matlab both ways it should be correct. Okay, so yes, it is correct. So first statement clearly is correct. There's no doubt about it. True. The second statement is saying the sum of first and odd natural numbers is n square. Now this is something we'll have to figure out. And it's very easy to figure out because I know how I can write the first and odd natural numbers. How can I write it? 1, 3, 5, 7 and so on and so forth. And we have to figure out the sum of first n terms of this AP. Is this an AP, guys? Yes, this is an AP because the common difference is 2, right? So here A is equals to 1, common difference D is equals to 2. We have to figure out Sn. Okay, so Sn is equals to n by 2, 2 times A plus n minus 1 D. I am writing down the formula. Now let's put everything here. So n by 2 will remain as it is because I do not know the value of n. Twice of A, that means 2 plus n minus 1 into 2 because D is also 2. Now when you simplify this, what do you get? N by 2. Here I will get 2 plus 2n minus 2. So 2 minus 2, 0. So here I will get 2n square by 2. That is equals to n square. So yes, sum of first n odd numbers is n square. In fact, it should be a common knowledge. You have studied it in, I think in 8th grade also. Okay, sum of the first n odd natural numbers is n square. This is also true. Both the statements are true. Good. But, is the second statement explaining the first statement and that also correctly? So correctly to chodo, second statement is not explaining the first statement. Like, how are they even related? The second statement is talking about sum of n odd natural numbers and the first statement is talking about 3 terms being in AP. Both the statements are not related. So even though both the statements are correct, guys, the statements are not related. Second statement is not explaining the first one. So that means the correct answer would be both assertion A and reason R are true, but reason R is not the correct explanation of assertion A. Like reason R is not explaining your assertion A. ठीक है? So I know a lot of people struggle with AR type questions. So remember, bacha, the first step in AR type questions is to individually figure out whether the statements are true individually or not. If the statements are true individually, तब तो first and second option में से कोई सा option would be correct. But if either of the option is correct, then from the last two option one would be correct, right? Now after you do check the correction and you figure out that both the statements are individually correct, then you just have to see that whether there is a relationship between second statement and first statement, whether the second statement explains first statement at all. If the answer is no, then you know what the answer is, and if the answer is yes, then option number A is the answer. Simple. Okay, chaliye ji. With that, let's move on, guys. So, if the sum of an arithmetic progression is the same for p terms as for the q terms, then find the sum of p plus q terms. So, what they are giving, let's write it mathematically, everyone. They are saying that for the same AP, sum of first p terms is equals to sum of first q terms. And we have to do what? We have to figure out sum of p plus q terms. This is what we have to figure out as p plus q. Okay, okay, chalo ji. So I'll erase this for now and let's see what I'm getting from here. Okay, chalo, because we don't know the value of A, we don't know the value of D. So S, P plus Q terms kaise will figure out, hai na? First, let's use this and see what we are getting. So SP basically would be what? Using formula, I can say that P by 2 into twice of A plus P minus 1 into D, right, is equals to what? Q plus 2 twice of A plus Q minus 1 into D. See, since we are talking about the same AP, A and D would remain same. Okay, only P and Q is changing here. Now, obviously 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So, here I'll multiply P inside the bracket. So, what I'll get 2AP plus P square D minus PD. You can do this and you will get the same thing. I have multiplied P inside the bracket and I have opened this bracket also. Okay? Chalo, I'll do the same thing here. So, I'll get 2AQ plus Q square D minus QD. Okay, everyone? Now, let me bring everything on the same side. Okay? So, I'll bring everything on the same side and look how I'm grouping. So, I'll take 2AP and I'll bring this 2AQ and I'll group it with 2AP. So, I'll get minus 2AQ here. Okay? Similarly, I have P square D already on the left hand side and I'll bring Q square D on the left hand side and I'll get what? Minus Q square D. Okay? Again, I have minus PD here already. So, minus PD. And I'll bring this minus QD on the right hand side, left hand side, I'll get plus QD. This is equals to 0, everyone. Okay. Now, from here, from the first bracket, you can see that I can take 2A common and I'll have P minus Q. In the second bracket, I can take D common, I'll have P square minus Q square. In the second one, the problem is if I take D common, I'll have minus P plus Q. Ab yahan par P minus Q hai and I have minus P plus Q. That is the problem, right? So what I'll do is I'll take minus D common. I'll take minus D common. If I do that, this minus D comes out, only P will remain. Here, since minus D is coming out, the sign will change. Here, I'll get minus Q is equals to 0. Now, again, what I'm going to do is, I am going to see the second term here, which has P square minus Q square, and I'm going to write it as P minus Q into P plus Q. Can I not do that? I can, using identity, right? So, minus D, P minus Q. Now, everyone, we are getting somewhere. Notice that in this expression, there are 3 terms, and in all the 3 terms, P minus Q is coming out to be equal. Can you notice that? P minus Q is coming out to be same. So, I can bring P minus Q outside, right? So, let's just do that, everyone. I'll take P minus Q out, and if I do that, what do I get? Inside, I'll have 2A remaining from the first term, D remaining, D into P plus Q remaining from the second one, and minus D remaining from the third one. This is equals to 0. Now, when the product of two things is equals to 0, then one has to be 0. Both of them can also be 0, but at least one of them has to be 0, right? So, either P minus Q is 0, Either P minus Q is 0, which tells us that P is equals to Q. But that cannot be the case, everyone. ठीक है? If P, obviously if P is equals to Q, then is it not common sense that sum of first P terms would be equals to sum of first Q terms? Like, that's a common sense wala thing, right? Because P and Q are equal, right? So obviously that's dumb, right? So this cannot be. So the other thing would be that twice of A plus, now here what I'm going to do, I'm going to take D common, right? So if I take D common, I'll have P plus Q minus 1. Now this has to be equals to 0. Okay, everyone, okay? Now watch the magic, okay? Watch the magic. I'll multiply, since see, this is equals to 0, so I can multiply P plus Q by 2 on both the sides. Can I not do that? I can multiply P plus Q on both the sides, and what I'll get, the right hand side will still remain 0, because 0 into P plus Q by 2 is 0, right? But this left hand side has become SP plus Q. Has it not? Sum of first P plus Q terms would be what? P plus Q by 2 multiplied with twice of A plus P plus Q minus 1 multiplied with T. I have just used the formula Sn is equals to n by 2 into 2A plus n minus 1D. Right? So what I did, I started with this, and I molded this entire thing into something like this. 2A plus D, P plus Q minus 1 is equals to 0. As soon as I got this, I was like, okay, now I can multiply P plus Q by 2, because on the right hand side we have 0, right? And if I do that, I'll get the formula for sum of P plus Q, and that's it. Right? So remember guys, if in any MCQ type problems you are given something like this, okay, S of 25 is equals to S of 60 and is equals to 0. Okay, sorry, not equals to 0. S of 25 is equals to S of 60. If this is given to you, then automatically the sum, if you take the sum of 25 and 60 and you figure out the sum of these terms, like sum of 25 plus 60 terms, that means sum of 85 terms would be equals to 0. And this is true for all APs, okay? Okay, so remember, if something like this is given and this is asked, then what happens? I'll just write it down like this. Now, let's write it as a shortcut. Shortcut. Yes. So SP is equals to SQ, implies that SP plus Q is equals to 0. Okay? This is what I was trying to tell you. That's it. Okay. Chaliye ji. So with that, let's move on to the next problem. Interesting one, guys. It was asked in 2010. So you would be like, ma'am, what kind of questions are you bringing in the class? Like 2010, that's so back, right? But guys, remember, CBSE has a pattern of repeating questions, right? So you might get these questions in your exams. Like from questions from 2011 were repeated in 2025. Ab batao. So you need to try all the different types of problems that are there. Okay? And this is quite an interesting problem and it will teach you a lot. Okay? Chaliye. The sum of first 10 terms is negative 150. So I just write this down. S10 is given negative of 150. That's simple. The sum of its next 10 terms is negative 550. Now this here is the important part and the part where a lot of students get stuck. Sum of next 10 terms. Okay, sochte hain. Let's understand it like this. I have A1, A2 till A10. Right, and then I will write it like this, A11, A12 till A20, right? So first of all, they gave us the sum of these terms. Okay? Now for the second part, they are giving us the sum of these terms. Now the problem is this is S10. This is how I write sum of first 10 terms, okay? But I can't write it as S20. Can I write it as S20? Nahi. Why? Because S20 though is this. S20 means sum of all 20 terms of the AP. So this is not true, right? This is wrong. I can't write it as 20. So how can I write it, everyone? Sorry. So how can I write it, everyone? Let's see. So now let's use common sense. I can't write it as S20, but what I can do is I can take S20, right? S20 would be sum of all these terms, है ना? And from it I can subtract S10. If from the sum of first 20 terms, I subtract the sum of first 10 terms, won't I get the sum of the next 10 terms? I would, right? That was the important part, guys. Okay? So please remember this. Whenever you have to find the sum of next m terms. Sum of next m terms. So how would you do that? You will take Sm and from it you will subtract the sum of the previous terms that is given. Okay? For example, next here we had next 10 terms. So so we took, sorry, my fault, guys. I'll write it again. So sum of next m terms. So to figure out sum of next m terms, let's suppose you have to figure out the sum of next 20 terms. So what you would have done, you would have taken m and added n with it. Okay? N is the first terms that we are talking about, and from it you would have subtracted what? Sn. ठीक है? यहाँ पर m is what? यहाँ पर m also is 10 and n also is 10. They have given the sum of first 10 terms and they are asking you to figure out the sum of the next 10 terms. ठीक है? So please remember this. Okay. Now let's come back to the problem, everyone. Okay. So we have S10 is equals to negative 150. Now I know that the second part is asking is telling us basically S20 minus S10 is equals to what? Negative of 550. Okay, now we have to find the AP. We have to figure out the value of A, we have to figure out the value of D. Finding an AP means you have to find A and D. Okay, then only you can find the AP. Okay, no worries everyone. I will just put the value of S10 here. So S20 minus 150. So positive of 150 is equals to negative of 550. From here, I can say that, okay, S20 is equals to negative of 700. I can now write down the formula for S20. So that would be 20 by 2 into twice of A plus 19 into D, which is equals to negative of 700. Right, everyone? Now, you can cancel things. For example, here you will get 10 and 0 gets cancelled. So you will have what? 2a plus 19d is equals to negative of 70. This is equation number 1, everyone. Okay? Now, now to figure out equation number 2, let's use S10 wala thing. Okay? We had S10 also, na? So we'll use S10 wala thing to get equation number 2. Then we'll have a pair of linear equations in 2 variables from where we can figure out the value of the variables a and d. Okay? Chalo. So S10 can be written as 10 by 2, 2a plus 9d is equals to negative of 150, right, everyone? So now here what we can do, we can cancel 0 and 0. So here we'll have 2a plus 9d is equals to negative 30. This is equation number 2. So we have pair of linear equations in 2 variables. You can see 1 and 2. Now all you need to do is evaluate, right? So let's just subtract, because when we subtract 2n and 2a will get cancelled, right? So subtracting, subtracting 2 from 1. So once we do that, what do we get, everyone? Let's just see here. 2a plus 19d is equals to negative 70, right? And here we have 2a plus 9d is equals to negative of 30. Okay, everyone, once we subtract, this gets cancelled. 19 minus 9 is 10d. So 10d is equals to, here we'll get positive. So negative 70 plus 30 would be negative of 40. So negative 40. So from here, the value of d comes out to be 4. The value of d comes out to be 4, everyone. Now you can plug the value of d in any of the equation and get the value of a, right? So what would be the value of a, everyone? Let's just put it here. So we'll get 2a plus 9 into 4, that is 36, is equals to negative 30, right? So twice of a would be equals to negative 30, negative 36. So twice of A is equals to negative of 66. So A is equals to negative of 33. We are getting the value of A as negative 33. Is this correct? Let's just check. Oh, sorry. The value of D is negative 4, everyone. Negative 4. I'll write this again. The value of D is negative 4. I wrote positive 4. D is equals to negative 4. This is what we are getting, right? So if D is equals to negative 4, so here we would have negative 4. Here would have positive of 36. Okay, chalo. Let's just correct this, everyone. So twice of A would be equals to what? It would be equals to negative 30 plus 36. So that would be equals to 6. So A is equals to 3. The value of A comes out to be 3. So what's the AP, everyone? The AP would be 3. Then 3 plus minus 4. Like second term would be A plus D, right? So 3 minus 4, everyone, minus 1. Minus 1 minus 4, minus 5. 3 terms are more than enough. You can write more if you want. Okay? So yes, this here is the answer, everyone. Cool. I think this was an interesting question, and believe me guys, you can get this question for 5 marks, okay? Because it had a good concept. है ना? चलिए जी. So with that, everyone, let's move on to the next problem. In an AP of 40 terms, the sum of first 9 terms is 153. So that means S9 is given to us as 153. ठीक है? And the sum of last 6 terms, oh my god, the sum of last 6 terms is given to be 687. Okay, so in previous one, sum of next 10 terms were given. Now here, sum of last 6 terms is given. How will you figure that out? Matlab, you can't write S6. S6 is not 687. Don't make that mistake. S6 matlab sum of first 6 terms. Chalo. Let's apply our brain, everyone, and think. Here, let's think. Okay, so let's suppose we have AP, it's given. We have an AP of 40 terms, right? So A1, A2, till A39, A40 we have. Okay? We have to figure out the sum of last 6 terms. Sum of last 6 terms. If you think, it would be what? It would be A34 plus A35 plus A36 plus A37 plus A38 plus A39 plus A40. Yes or no, everyone? This would be the sum of last 6 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. A34 won't be included. From A35 we'll have. Okay? A35 plus A36 plus 37, 38, 39, 40. Okay, chalo. Okay. So that means we have been given this. From here to here we are given. This is what is given to us. Okay? That 687. But how can I write it in such terms that I can use formula, right? So think about it, everyone. If I take S40, if I take the sum of all the 40 terms, and if I just subtract the sum of the first 34 terms, if I subtract the sum of first 34 terms, I will only get the remaining term sum. Yes or no? S40 minus S34. It would be what? Let's visualize, everyone. A1 plus till A40 will get, or I'll write it like this. A34 plus A35. Wait. A35 plus till A40, right? This is the sum of first 40 terms. Now from it, I am subtracting the first 34 terms. So A1 plus A2 plus till A34, I am subtracting, right? Once I subtract everything, what I will get? I will only get terms starting from 35 till 40. Or I will get the last 6 terms. Yes or no? So that means I can write this like this. S40 minus S of 36. 34, sorry. 34. And this is given as what, everyone? 687. This is given 687. Okay, so remember, whenever sum of, I am erasing this, okay? Instead, I'll write the short trick wala part. Whenever we are given the sum of last m terms, okay, in an AP with n terms, in an AP with n number of terms, How will we rewrite that? I will write it like this. Sn, that means sum of all the terms of an AP, minus S of n minus m. This is super important. Please note it down. You can mug it up if you want. And we use just that, everyone. S40 minus S40 minus 6. Okay? Okay. Now, let's start the procedure. Now, we have to figure out the first term of the AP, the common difference of the AP. More so, we have to figure out the sum of all terms of the AP also. So, first of all, to figure out A and D, we will have to form two linear equations and we have to solve that for A and D. Right? So, chalo, jaldi, let's do that, everyone. First, let's use S9 wala part. So, from there, from S9 is equals to 153, we can say that 9 by 2 over twice of A plus 8D is equals to 153, right? So, from here we can say that, okay, 2A plus 8D, everyone, would be equals to what? 153 into 2, that would be 306 divided by 9. I think it is divisible. So, let's just see. 9 into 3 is 27, 34. Yes. So, we get 2A plus 8D is equals to 34. Equation number 1, everyone. Now, for equation number 2, let's use this S40. S40 is 40 by 2 twice of A plus 39D, right? Minus S34, that is 34 by 2 twice of A plus 33D is given equals to 687. Okay? Chalo. So, now let's evaluate this, everyone. So, here I'll have 20 into 2A plus 39D is equals to 17 into 2A plus 33D is equals to 687, right? Okay, 20 into 2 is 40, 17 into 2 is 34. So, if I subtract, I'll get 6A plus 20 into 39. So, that would be 780D. And here what I'll get, 17 into 33. So, 17 into 33, everyone, let's do it quickly. 21 to 51 and again 51. So, we'll get 561D minus 561D. Okay, chalo. Let me erase this. Okay, is equals to 687. Okay, we have a lot of calculation here. So, 6A plus, now let's just subtract this, everyone. So, what I'll get? 9, 1 and then 2, 219D is equals to 687. This is what we get. 6A plus 219D is equals to 687. Okay, chalo. Let's solve both the equations now. Okay, this is equation number 2. And let's see if we can take 3 common here. So, if I take 3 common, what do I get? I am going to take 3 common here and just simplify this because I think it can be simplified further. Okay? Yes. So, here I'll get 2A plus 73D. This is okay. 73 is equals to 229. Okay. Now, this is simplified. So, equation number 2. Now, I will subtract 2 and 1. Subtract 2 and 1. Right? So, let's do the subtraction wala part, everyone. So, here we have 2A plus 73D is equals to 229. Right? And here we had 2A plus 8D. 2A plus 8D is equals to 34. Okay, let's do the subtraction. Once we do the subtraction, 2A and 2A gets cancelled. 73D minus 8D, everyone, 65D is equals to what? 9 minus 4, 5. And here we'll get what? 195. This is what we'll get. Everything's all right. Okay. From here, D would be equals to what? So, 195 divided by 65. So, I think 65 into 3. 5 3s are 15. 3. The value of D comes out to be 3, everyone. The value of D is 3. Now, Let's quickly figure out the value of A. Okay? Chalo. So what would be A? We can plug the value of D in any one of these. So let's plug it in one. Put D is equals to 3 in 1. Okay. So once we do that, everyone, what did we raise? We raised this part. 2A plus 4D. Now it's all right. 8D, sorry. Okay. So now here what we'll have twice of A plus 24 is equals to 34. So from here A is coming out to be 5. Okay, is that all right? Twice of A plus 8D. So 8 into 3 is 24. 34 minus 24 is equals to 10. Yes, so A is coming out to be 5. So we have figured out the first term as 5. We have figured out the common difference as 3. We have to figure out the sum of all the terms. Sum of all the terms, matlab we have to figure out S for T, everyone. S for T. This is what we have to figure out. Okay? So yes, you can figure out S for T. We can do that here. It would come out to be what? 40 by 2 twice of A, that means 10, plus 39 into D. D is what? 3. Okay, so we'll have 20 into 10 plus 27 to 117. So 127. So 20 into 127. Right? Okay. So that would come out to be what? So 14, 5. So 14, 5. 2540, everyone. 2540 seems to be the answer. Okay. So yes, it was quite a long question, but the main part in this question was understanding how to write the sum of last 6 terms. Because apart from that, the only thing you had to do was form 2 linear equations and solve those linear equations for the value of A and D. That's it, guys. That's all you had to do, right? So remember, the important part was knowing this. That's it. Chalo ji, with that, let's move on and discuss this problem. Quite a common problem, guys, and it's important one, has been asked in board exams regularly. So let's see. Okay? We have to solve this. 1 plus 4 plus 7 plus 10 plus dash 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 x is equals to 287. So what do we need to do? We need to find x. What do we need to do? We need to find x. That's what the question is asking us. Find x. How easy is that? It's easy, okay? Chalo, let's see. So, first of all, how can I find x? Think about it. How can I find x? I can find x if there are 2 things. First of all, I know this formula. I know this formula that Sn is equals to n by 2 a plus nth term, right? And I know that x is my nth term. I know x is my nth term. Okay. But what is the problem here? The problem here is I need the value of n. I need what? I need the value of n. I need to know the position of x. Position of x. I do not know that. So how can I directly apply this when I don't have the value of n? So the first thing that you're going to do here is find the value of n. Okay? Chalo ji. How can we figure out the value of n? Let's understand. So to here, first, I know the value of a. It is what? 1. I know the value of D. D is what, everyone? 4 minus 1, 3. And you can check this is an AP, okay? 7 minus 4, 3. 10 minus 7, 3. Okay, so I have A1 and I have D as 3. Now, sum of nth terms. Let there be n terms. Let me write that also. Let x be a. Okay, that tells us that the position of x is n. That means the total terms here are n. Okay. Now, I know that x would be equals to a plus, I know that sum of n terms would be equals to n by 2 twice of a plus n minus 1 d. Right, everyone? Okay. Now, Here I have the sum of n terms as 287. I do not know the value of n, and that's why I am doing this. Right? So n by 2, twice of a would be 2 plus n minus 1 into d is equals to 3. So understand what I'm doing here. Before even figuring out the value of x, I'm figuring out the value of n, and that I have done by using this simple formula, because in this simple formula I do not know the value, I do not need the value of an, right? Chalo. So here what would we get? 287 into 2, 574, right? So 574 is equals to what? Let's multiply n inside also. So we'll have 2n plus 3n square minus 3n, right? Now, let's simplify this quadratic equation in the form of n. So here what would we have? We'll have 3n square minus n minus 574 is equals to 0. So now you can see here that this is a quadratic equation in terms of n, which we have to solve, and we have learned how to solve quadratic equation. Have we not? Right? So first of all, you will figure out two numbers m and n such that m into n is equals to 3 into negative 574, right? That is negative of 1722. है ना? Okay. Now, m plus n should give you negative 1, as you can see here. So now you have to think about such numbers. Now guys, this question is like very popular. You could think you would come across this question a lot of times, right? So it would be beneficial for you if you would remember that if you are getting such equation, then 1722 would be broken down as 41 and 42. 41 and 42. Right? You can multiply 41 and 42 and you can check also. See, 2 would be 8, 4, 16. So 2, 2, 7, 1. 1722. Okay, so now we can clearly see that I can break down the middle term. How? I can break it down like this. Negative of 42n plus 41n. Then only you'll get negative n, right? Okay, minus 574 is equals to what? Equals to 0. Okay, I am erasing all of this. This was only for explanation. Now here I can take 3n common. So here I'll have what? N minus 14n, right? 3n is common, so 3 is 3. Yes. Here I can take 41 common, and here I'll have n minus again 40 is equals to 0. Okay? So from here we can have 3n plus 41 in one bracket, n minus 14 in another bracket. Why did I write n here? I'm so sorry. Yeah, n minus 14 in another bracket. Okay? Is equals to 0. Now from here you can clearly see everyone that 3n plus 41 is equals to 0. This tells us that n would be negative 41 by 3. या फिर it would be कि n minus 14. n minus 14 is equals to 0. n minus 14 is equals to 0. Now this tells us that n would be 40. Right? When the product of two numbers is 0, then what happens? Either one has to be 0. At least one of them has to be 0. Now here you can clearly see that n is equals to negative 41 by 3 is not possible. Why is it not possible? Because n should be a natural number. N is the position of x, guys. Position cannot be minus or fraction. Okay? So what is the position of x, guys? 14. Okay, so now we know the position of x. Can we not figure out the value of x? We can, right? So x is equals to a of 14, which would be equals to a plus 13d. Right? Now we know the value of a, we know the value of d, right? So the value of a is equals to 1. The value of d is equals to what? It is equals to 3. Right? So from here we get the value of x as 39 plus 1, that is 40. So the value of x is equals to 40. This was the final, this has to be the final answer. Please don't leave your answer till here. N is equals to 14. We just figured this out to figure out x. That was the ultimate aim, to figure out x. Okay? So remember, it's such type of problems. The first thing you do is figure out n and then figure out x. So with that guys, let's move on. Okay, this is important because you do get problems from this topic here. So suppose you are given, an AP with 4 terms or 5 terms or 3 terms, and the AP is not exactly given to you, right? The sum of the terms could be given, product of terms would be given, but AP is not given. So in such scenarios, guys, we have a shortcut method. So if you have to take an AP with 3 terms, so please take A minus D, A and A plus D. Why? Because most often than not, in these types of questions where you have to take AP, what is given? Sum of the 3 terms would be given. Let's say, suppose sum of 3 terms is given as 9. So if I take A minus D as the first term, A as the second term and A plus D as the third term, and I add, what would happen? D and D gets cancelled, only 3A will remain, and 3A, let's suppose, is given 9, so I'll get the value of A directly as 3. That's why we take these 3 terms, so that our calculation becomes easy. Okay, so if you have to take 3 terms, you will take A minus D, A plus D. Similarly, if you have to take 4 terms, everyone, you will take A minus 3D, A minus D, A plus D, A plus 3D. Ab dekho. In the first scenario, clearly the common difference, I'll write it here. Here it's written. The common difference is D. Clearly, A into A minus D, when you will do, you will get D. But in the second scenario, what is the common difference? How will you figure it out? Second term is A minus D. From it, subtract A minus 3D. See what you are getting. When you do the subtraction, A will get cancelled. Minus D plus 3D would give you 2D. So in the second scenario, the common difference is 2D. It's not D, okay? We are not using D as common difference here. D is just a variable. A is just a variable here. Okay? It's just a clever way of taking an AP with 4 terms, and here the common difference is 2D. I'm repeating this again and again because a lot of people make mistake and they assume that D is the common difference. D is not the common difference. And again, the thought process is same. When you take the sum of all the 4 terms here, you will get 0. Similarly, if you have to take 5 terms, guys, you will take them as A minus 2D, A minus D, A plus D, A plus 2D. Okay? 6 terms tak, I don't think you will get a question with 6 terms, but once you get the pattern, you will understand. Okay, so what is important? Remember, 3 terms and 4 terms is the most important. 3 terms, A minus D, A plus D. 4 terms is A minus 3D, A minus D, A plus D, A plus 3D. Bas, mug it up. For 3 and 4 terms, at least mug it up, guys. Okay, chalo. With that, we are going to do a question based on that concept. The sum of 4 consecutive numbers in an AP is 32, and the ratio of product of the first and the last term to the product of the 2 middle terms is given as 7:15. Find the numbers of the AP. So here you can clearly see that the AP is not given to you, right? And second clue, guys, the sum of the terms is given to you. So that means we are going to take an AP, right? And what kind of AP would be? We just studied, right? Let the AP be, since it has 4 terms, we are using 4 consecutive terms. So we'll take it as A minus 3D, A minus D, A plus D, and A plus 3D. Now, first thing first, guys, the sum of the 4 consecutive terms is given to us as 32. So that means A minus 3D plus A minus D plus A plus D plus A plus 3D. This is given to us as what? It is given to us as 32. Now, from here you can see that negative 3D, positive 3D, go gone. Minus D plus D, go gone. Only A's will remain, right? So, 4A is equals to 32 and A is equals to 8. So this is the main reason why we take the APs like we are, to get the value of one variable directly. Okay, now A here is not the first term. Please don't treat it like the first term. The first term is A minus 3D. Okay, chalo. Abhi, this is something we got from the first part. Second part is saying ratio of product of first and last term. So let's figure out the product of first and last term. First term is A minus 3D, everyone. And last term is A plus 3D, right? So product of first and last term would be A minus 3D into A plus 3D, right? Now we'll figure out the product of 2 middle terms, right? So product of 2 middle terms would be A minus D into A plus D. Now they are telling us that when you take the ratio of these products, Taking ratio means simply writing it in fraction form, right? So taking ratio means writing it in fraction form would be equals to 7:15. That means this would be equals to 7/15. ठीक है, cool everyone. Now let's do it quickly. We know the identity a plus b into a minus b is equals to a square minus b square, right? So we are going to use this a minus 3d into a plus 3d, everyone. What would it be? A square minus 9d square, right? So a square minus 9d square in numerator. In denominator, similarly, we'll have a square minus d square, and this would be equals to 7/15. Now we'll simply cross multiply, everyone. So on cross multiplying, we'll get 15a square. 15a square minus 15 into 9, that is 135d square, is equals to 7a square minus 7d square, right? Okay. Now let's continue. Okay, so 15a square minus 7a square would give you 8a square, everyone. Okay, and then here we'll take d square wala part on the right hand side. So what we'll get? 135 minus 70 square, that is 128d square. Now we know the value of a, we have figured it out, right? The value of a is 8. So let's just put a as 8 here. So we'll get 8 cube here, right? 128, everyone. 16, 32, 64, 40. So 2 raised to power 7 d square. I have written 128 as 2 raised to power 7. You will see why. ठीक है, 8 cube can be written as 2 raised to power 9. 2 cube raised to power 3. So 2 raised to power 9, right? Divided by 2 raised to power 7 is equals to d square. ठीक है? So now everyone, this will be what? I'm just using laws of exponents. So 2 raised to power 9 minus, 2 raised to power 9 divided by 2 raised to power 7 is 2 raised to power 9 minus 7, right? So that is 2 square is equals to d square. So from here you can say that, okay, d square is equals to 4. So that means d has to be either plus 2 or minus 2. Okay, now let's take d as positive 2 and see what is the AP that we are getting. So if I am taking d as 2, a already we have figured out as 8. So what would the AP be, everyone? Let's see. This is the AP, okay? Now let's put all the values here. So a minus 3d. So 8 minus 6, everyone, 2. Then a minus d, that means 8 minus 2, everyone. That is, wait, 8 minus 6, 2, right. Now next 8 minus 2, 6. Okay, now 8 plus 2, everyone, 10. And finally 8 plus 6, that would be 16. Sorry. 14. So 2, 6, 10, 14. Is this an AP? You can check also. The common difference here is coming out to be what? The common difference is coming out to be 4. Right? Common difference is 4. Please don't think that d is 2. No, d is a variable here, not common difference. Common difference for this type of, AP would be 2d, remember? So 4. Okay? Chalo. Now, we will also write the AP in the second scenario where a is fixed as 8, but d is negative 2. So if that happens, everyone, let's see what we are getting. So we'll get what? Let's see. Here we'll get a as 8 minus, so 14, then 10, then 6, then 2. So you will get the same AP in both the scenarios, just in reverse order. You'll get the same AP in both the scenario. I'm repeating again, just in reverse order. So you can see that here again we got the same AP but in reverse order. Okay? So yes, this is how you do these types of problems. Okay? Chaliye. So with that, guys, let's move on to word problems. So we have some really common type of word problems that you must have come across when you are studying AP. So we are going to do all the common types of problems. Okay? Chaliye. The houses in a row. So this one's quite famous, has come in board exams a lot of time, guys. You should know this question by heart. Okay? The houses in a row are numbered consecutively from 1 to 49. Okay, 1 to 49. Same thing, we say 49 to 1, 1 to 49, same thing. Find the value of x such that the sum of numbers of houses preceding the house number x is equals to the sum of the numbers of the houses following it. So, what do you mean by that? What does this question mean? So, let's understand. We have houses, guys. So, we have house number 1, we have house number 2, we have house number 3, and it goes on and on. We have a house number x minus 1 also. We have a house number x also. We have a house number x plus 1 also. And we have houses till how many? We have 49. So houses are all marked by numbers. Okay? So these are our houses and I have written the numbers here. Now the question is asking us to figure out the value of x. The question is asking us to figure out the value of the number x such that the sum of all the numbers before x, the sum of all the number before x, which is sx minus 1, sx minus 1 is equals to the sum of all the numbers after x. Sum of all the numbers after x. That means from x plus 1 till 49. I'll write it here. X plus 1. These are the numbers that the houses will have, right? X plus 2 till 49. Right? So we have to figure out the value of x such that this equation is satisfied. Understood? This is what the question is asking us. Now the thing is, for x minus 1, I know the formula for sum of n terms and I can apply it. But what to do with this part here? I do not know the value of x. That is the point. I have to figure out the value of x, right? So how can I rewrite this entire complex thing? Now here again, let's use our brain, everyone. Think about it. We are talking about the sum of numbers from x plus 1 till 49. Okay, I'll write it here. 1, 2, 3, x minus 1, x plus 1 till 49. We have to find the sum of numbers from x plus 1 to 49. Now, what if everyone, what if I figure out the sum of numbers till 49? What if I figure out the sum of numbers till 49 by using S49? Wallah formula, sum of first 49 terms. And from that I subtract the sum of first x numbers. From that I subtract the sum of first x numbers. I'll get these remaining numbers, right or not? So S49 minus Sx. That's it. This is the important part of this question. If you understand this, then there is nothing in this entire question, everyone. Nothing. Okay? I hope you understood this. Okay, now let's just put let's use all the formulas and see what we are getting, right? So as x minus 1, I can open it up as x minus 1 by 2 twice of a plus x minus 2 d is equals to 49 by 2 twice of a plus 48g minus x by 2 twice of a plus x minus 1 d. Now, good for us, everyone. Our AP is the simplest AP that is out there. 1, 2, 3, 4 till 49. Now, I can clearly see that, okay, the value of A is 1. The value of D again is 1. Like, how simpler could things be? Okay, but goal easy. Chalo, let's put a value of A and D as 1 and 1 respectively. So, I'll get what? X minus 1 by 2. 2 plus x minus 2. Right? I've just put a and d as 1 and 1 respectively. Here I'll have 49 by 2. 2 plus 48. Minus x by 2. 2 plus x minus 1. Now everyone, let's open up all the brackets and see what we are getting, right? So here first of all 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So we'll have x square minus x over 2. X square minus, just x will remain, I'll just multiply it here, is equals to 49 by 2 into 50, right? So 49 into 25. Okay? Minus, here what I'll have, 2 minus 1 is 1, right? So x square plus x by 2. Okay? Okay. Now, have we done something wrong? X square. Okay, let me just put this bracket here. This is better. Okay. Now let's bring this on the left hand side. So what we'll have? We'll have x square minus x. Then we'll have plus x square. And then here we'll have plus x. ठीक है, over 2 is equals to 49 into 25. Okay, so x minus x plus x go are gone. So we'll have 2x square over 2 is equals to 49 into 25. Right, from here we can say that, okay, x square is equals to 1225. So x is equals to plus minus 35. Right, everyone? Okay, now clearly negative 35 won't be possible. Like the houses are not numbered in negative, right? So the only correct answer would be 35. That means 35 is the number between 1 to 49, such that the sum of numbers just before 35, that means the sum of numbers till 34 would be equal to the sum of numbers from 36 till 49. How cool is that, right? So yes, that's the answer, everyone. With that, let's move on to the next word problem. Again, very common type of problem, guys. What is the problem saying? There are 25 trees at equal distances of 5 meters in a line with a well. The distance of the well from the nearest tree being 10 meters. A gardener waters all the trees separately starting from the well, and he returns to the well after watering each of the tree to get the water for the next one, and finally comes to the well after watering the last tree. Find the total distance covered by the gardener. So what is happening, everyone? We have a well. We have what? We have a well, right? And we have trees. We have what? We have trees. How many trees are there, everyone? 25. So till here, 25 trees are there. Now, the distances between the trees as well as the, well is given to us, right? So, it is given to us that the distance between the well and the first tree is 10 meters, right? And then between consecutive trees, the distance is 5 meters. All these distances, what? 5 meters respectively. Now, what is happening? We have a gardener, and the gardener is watering the trees. How is he watering the trees, everyone? He starts from the well, he goes to the tree he has to water, and then he comes back again. So, basically, think about it in this sense, everyone. For the first tree, he covers a distance of 10 meters to take the water, and then after watering, he comes back again, right? So, the distance covered is 2 times 10 meters, yes or no? Because he is going to and fro, right? To and fro. Now, again, he starts from here, and this time he goes to the second tree, and now the distance of the second tree is what? 10 plus 5, 15 meters. But he is coming back also. So, this time he is covering 2 into 15 meters. That's the distance. Now, again he starts from this well and goes to the third tree. What is the distance being covered? 10 plus 5 plus 5. That is 20 meters. But he is coming back again. So, the total distance to and fro would be what? The total distance would be what? 2 into 20. 2 into 20, and so on and so forth. Now, all we need to do is figure out the total distance. That means we have to figure out the total sum of these distances. Okay? Now, first of all, let's write the AP down. Okay? So, the AP formed by distance covered to and fro. Covered to and fro. To and fro for each tree is, let's write that down, everyone. We have 2 into 10 plus 2 into 10, then 2 into 15, then 2 into 20, and so on and so forth. Okay, you can multiply the distances also. Now we have to figure out the total sum of the distance. But there is one important point where a lot of people make mistake. See, I can easily say, okay, I have to figure out Sn. So Sn would be equals to what? N by 2 twice of A plus N minus 1 into D. Now, good thing, I know the value of A, it is 2 into 10, that is 20. I know the value of D, it would be 15 into 2 minus 20, that means it would be 10. For each of these, it is 10, right? You can check. What is the value of N though? What is the value of N? Now again, let's come back to this problem here. And instead of thinking about 25 trees, let's just think about these 4 trees and this well. Okay, these 4 trees and this well. Ab socho everyone, if I just had 4 trees, not 25 trees, if I just had 4 trees and this well, what would be the total what would be the total terms of the AP formed? So we'll have 1 term, 2 term, 3 term, and finally we'll have this 4th term to and fro. How many terms are there? 4 terms. So when I have 4 trees, I'll have 4 terms. So when I have 25 trees, I'll have 25 terms. It's as simple as that. That's the common sense which we have to use. Okay? So whenever you're confused about how many terms are there, make sure you take less number of terms which you can visualize easily and then think. Okay? Chalo. So now, how many terms, what is the value of n? 25 everyone. Okay? So chalo, I'll write the value of a here. The value of a is equals to 20. The value of d is equals to 10. The value of n is equals to 25. There were 25 trees, right? Okay. I have everything. I just need to figure out Sn now. So Sn is equals to 25 over 2. And here we have twice of a. So 40 plus n minus 1, that is 24, into d. d is 10. So 240. Okay? So what do we have everyone? We have Sn is equals to 25 over 2 into 280. Right? So now we can do some cancellation here. What we'll get? 140 here we'll get. So we'll get here 12, 5s are 20, and then 2 zeros. 3,500 meters, everyone. Or okay, meters, yeah. So remember to put the units, and here they have given all the units in meters. So obviously your answer would come out in meters, right? So what's the answer, everyone? The answer is 3,500 meters. So here the only thing was understanding how to form the AP, right? Other than that, this question was pretty basic, guys, pretty easy, right? So if such things came for 5 marks, it would be free ka 5 marks, hai na? Okay? So please understand what the word problem is saying and then move from there. Okay? Chalo, with that, let's move on. Okay, so here's a question directly from 2025, and this here is a question of case study. Okay, so chalo, let's do it, and it must be a 4 marker, not 5 marker. This must be wrong, everyone. Let's erase this. Okay, I think this is wrong, na? Okay, it's a case study based. It's a case study question that came in 2025. Okay, so let's start doing it. So in a garden, saplings of rose flowers were planted at equal intervals to form a spiral pattern. Everyone knows what a spiral pattern looks like. So देखो, in your board exams, the diagram was given to you. Here I will make it for you. Okay, okay. So let's understand the spiral pattern, everyone. In case you do not know, I'll just make this here. Wait, let me make this again. This is better. Okay, so spiral patterns looks something like this. And these spirals, they are all made by semicircles here. Okay, here these spirals are made by what? They are made by semicircles like this here. Okay, cool. Okay, this is our spiral made by semicircle. Now, the spiral is made up of successive semicircles with centers alternatively at A and B. So if first of all the center was A, for the first one the center is A. Now for the second one the center automatically becomes B. For third one the center automatically is A again, then fourth one again B, and so on and so forth. Okay everyone, okay? Okay, so centers are alternatively changing. Now, what are the centers? So the center starts with 50 centimeters. So first of all, this center here is 50 centimeters. Okay? Now for the second one, what is the center's length? For second one, the center is, I'll just write it here, 100. Okay? For the third one, the center is what? For the third one, the center is 150. 150. like this. So 50, 100, 150 and so on. Okay. Now, spiral 1 has 10 flowers. So, spiral 1 has 10 flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 flowers are there. Okay. Spiral 2 has 20 flowers. Spiral 3 has 30 flowers and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, based on this above information, we have to answer the following questions. The first question is, what is the radius of the 13th spiral? Now, here you don't have to see the diagram. You just have to think. Ki bhai, they have given the radius of the first spiral to be 50, second to be 100, third to be 150. So, clearly we can see that there is an AP that is forming. And what is that AP made up of? It is made up of 50, 100, 150, so on and so forth. So, can you not figure out the 13th spiral radius? It would be what? A13, right? So, we just have to figure out A13. What we have to figure out? A13. It would be what, everyone? 50 plus 12D. What is D, everyone? Can you see that D itself is 50? Okay? So, 50 into 13, everyone. 50 into 13. So, that would be equals to what? 650 centimeters. Okay? Okay, so I think this was easy. Okay, second part. If the radius of nth spiral is 500 centimeters, then find the value of n. Now, this time again, they have asked the question from this AP only. They are giving you the value of the term. See, radius of the nth spiral. That means the value of an is given to you as 500 and n's value is being asked, right? Which spiral is it? So, for that, what you will do, you will use the formula that an is equals to a plus n minus 1d, right? You know the value of a, it is 50. You know the value of d, it is again 50. Right? So, you can take 50 common here and take it on the left hand side. So, what you will get? 500 divided by 50 is equals to n minus 1 plus 1, right? Because I took 50 common, na? So, 1 plus n minus 1. So, n. So, that means that the value of n is equals to 10. The value of n is 10. So, 10th spiral has the radius as 500 centimeters. Okay? Now, so these were one number questions. Simple. Now, let's move on to the third part. Okay. Find the total number of saplings till the 11th spiral. So, till the 11th spiral, I have to figure out the total number of saplings. Now, I know that in the first one, we had 10 flowers. Second one, we had 20 flowers. Third one had 30 flowers and so on and so forth. Okay. Chalo, let's talk about the, the number of flowers. Okay. Number of flowers. Let's see what we are getting. Okay. For each of these. So, for the first one, the number of flowers were what? 10. Second one, 20. Third one, 30. So, okay. Spiral 1 has 10 flowers. Okay. Now, clearly this in itself is an AP. This in itself is what? It's an AP, right? Now, we have to figure out the total number of saplings till the 11th spiral. So, first of all, if I talk about 11th spiral's number of flowers. See, here this AP is number of flowers per sapling. Per spiral, let's say, per spiral. That means for first spiral, 10. Second spiral, 20. Third spiral, 30. So, I can figure out ki in 11th spiral, how many flowers are there. But that is not what we have to find out. We don't have to find A11. We have to find out the sum of all the flowers till 11th sapling. Till 11th spiral, 11th spiral. That means we have to figure out S11, everyone, for this AP. Understood? For this second AP, we have to figure out S11. Okay? Total number of saplings till the 11th spiral. Okay? Chalo. So, let's figure out S11. So, what would S11 look like? I think we can do it here only. So, we'll have 11 by 2. 2A. A is what, everyone? A is 10. I'm just putting the values directly. So, 2 into 10 plus 10D. D is what? Again, D is 10. So 100. Okay? So now we'll have 11 into 120 by 2. So 11 into 60, that is 660 saplings. Okay, everyone, have we done this right? 20 plus 100, 120. So 60, 60 into 11. 660 saplings is the answer. Okay, so that's this part here. Now, finally, the B part. Till which spiral will there be a total of 450 saplings? Now, again, they are talking about the second AP only, and they are saying, till what sapling will the total number of flowers be 450? Again, SN. The value of SN is given to you, and the value of N is being asked. Got it? Understood? So, here, what is the value of SN, everyone? The value of SN, Chalo, I'll write it directly. The value of SN is 450, right? So 450 is equals to N by 2 twice of A, that means twice of 10, that is 20, plus N minus 1 into D. D is what, everyone? 10 again. Okay? So now we just have to solve this. So we'll have what? 450 is equals to N. Now here, let's just divide this. So we'll get, wait, let's just take 2 there only. Now. So 900 is equals to N 20 plus 10N minus 10. So we'll have what? 900 is equals to 10N square plus 10N. Okay, so we have a quadratic equation in the terms of N, everyone. Okay? So I think you can solve it. So here, let's just solve it. Here we'll have N square plus N minus 90 is equals to 0. This is the equation that you're getting. You have to solve it. Okay? So I think you can easily see that the value of N would come out to be what? Can you not solve it? The value of N would come out to be 10 or minus 10 comma 9. Minus 10 comma 9. Minus 1 and yeah. Okay? Minus 1. Minus 1. Minus 10 comma 9. So clearly the number of spirals cannot be negative. So finally the answer for N is equals to 9. 9. So what's the answer here for the third part, everyone? The third part's answer is N is equals to 9. Got it? Understood? So see, the question, the case study looked so difficult, right? But I think the first two parts were the easiest, and even the last two parts, once you understand what AP they are talking about and what you have to find there was nothing, literally nothing. Right? So I think this was pretty simple, pretty basic, everyone. So yes, with that, so this question here is a homework, everyone. Make sure that you practice as many word problems as you can, because it's important, guys. A lot of people do get stuck in making AP for the word problems. Okay? So yes, guys, AP has a lot of different types of problems, and make sure that you practice these problems. So yes, that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this session. Make sure you go through all the practice questions and the notes, the link for which is in the description box below, and make sure that you attend the next one-shot session, because it is of a super duper important chapter. So till then, bye bye, everyone. Take care.